This podcast contains themes that are unsuitable for younger listeners and parental guidance is advised.
It's been 30 years. Pass me that, mate. You're straight rated, right? It's a suicide mission. It's been 30 years, okay.
Chi-Chi, the old man, Elvis and myself were on the bridge. Everyone else had taken a rest. Now there was only 2 cabins, so everyone had to hotbed. No one had a personal cabin anymore, and plus we were a bit on the crowded side. If you think of it this way, there's 4 of us, plus Anna and Frank, although we lost Josh. Poor Josh. Anyways, we were going over the sensor data that the 3 Stooges sent across whilst we were jumping the Dyson sphere. Okay, I said, right, so what do we know? Whereabouts are we, and how the fuck do we get home? Elvis pulled up a graphical representation of where we were on the main view screen.
Okay, so we are here. We're near enough in the middle of the Andromeda galaxy, and we need to get here, which is on the very, very far edge of the Andromeda galaxy, where the hyperlight gate is, back to the Milky Way.
Okay, so how long is it going to take for us to get there?
With our hyperdrive,
Said Elvis.
it's going to take just over a year non-stop, but we don't have the power to do that.
Said Elvis. Okay, so what does that entail then?
We need to find energy sources that are compatible with our hyperdrive engines, and we'll recharge on the way. We should be able to find what we need. We just need to work out how and where to get it from. Now, I've charted us a course, and that is quite literally the fastest course possible. We can deviate left, right and centre from it. We might even find a faster way, but because there are no hyperlight gates in this region of space, because there's only the one that we know about, it will take a lot longer. Had we got a hyperlight gate, we could have done this in a matter of weeks, but we still would have had to recharge.
Okay, right. So what can we recharge with?
Anything radioactive.
Said Elvis. Okay, can we not draw power from a star like the Dyson sphere?
Completely different technology.
Said Elvis. Okay, right. So we have to find any radioactive material put into the hyperdrive's reactor.
That is correct.
Okay, well, there must be an abundance of it everywhere. I mean, if Earth had a load of that shit and we had no technology to do it until the Anunnaki came across, then, there must be. We must be able to find it. How do you find it, Elvis?
Oh, that's easy. Whilst we're on the path, when we come within range of it, we have to stop and pick it up. We might be able to buy some from a space station.
Buy some from a space station? We've never been to this galaxy before. We don't even know if there are space stations.
Oh, there'll be space stations.
Said Elvis.
There always are. We've been around in our galaxy for eons. Okay? There'll always be races that are advanced no matter what galaxy they're in.
Okay, well that sounds fine. Elvis, I must say, you're starting to sound a lot more human.
I think that is because I've been hanging around with you lot and I've picked up mannerisms, especially from you, Henry.
Yeah, I suppose so. You are starting to sound a lot more like me, aren't you?
Yes. Anyways, we need a few other things as well. Food and weapons, anything to get us back.
Well, I've got one concern, said Chi-Chi. And what's that? Your children, Henry, are going to be born on the bounty if we don't get home in a time frame. Well, 9 months. So yeah, 9 months is not a year. So they will be. Well, no, said Chi-Chi. It takes 10 months for Anasapiens to give birth, and we don't know how long it will be because we've got hybrid children. Okay, right, so it could be any time then. Any time between 9 and 10 months, which isn't really much of a difference, is it? Yeah, that's true, said Chi-Chi. That's true. But I want us to get home before they're born. Well, if we find some technology that'll do it, then we will. We just need to get that hyperlight gate. Yeah, and Elvis interrupted.
That brings us to our next problem. We have to get through that hyperlight gate and destroy it.
Why do we have to destroy the hyperlight gate? The old man interrupted. Because there are going to be a lot of Anunnaki ships trying to do exactly the same. We have a better ship than most of them, but there'll be far too many of them. There are way too many Anunnaki ships for us to be able to survive. Okay, that Dyson sphere was massive, and judging from the sensor data, look, he pressed the button on his wristband. It showed the next slide on the computer screen. See that? It's a massive armada, and they're all going to be really pissed off. Their tens of thousands of years of hard work's all gone down the fucking pisser, and they want blood, and they're going to come back under orders to try and wipe everyone out. Now, with a better luck, the Greys on the other side have taken out Nibiru and taken out the Emperor whilst we were away, because most of the defences were on the Dyson sphere, ready to launch an attack on the Grey system. Isn't that right, Elvis?
Yes, that is true. They were going to attack us, so they had most of their army on there, and we anticipated this, hence why once we did the hit and run to get onto the Dyson sphere, they would have come back and taken out the Emperor.
Well, fingers crossed they did. So there'll be a massive power vacuum, and whoever gets back first is probably going to take that power vacuum. So we've got to destroy the gate. Okay, so how do we do this then? The idea would be to set a remote detonation to go off not long after we've set through. Okay, well, how long does it take to get from the hyperlight gate from Andromeda to the Milky Way? A week, I said. So we have to wait a week before we can detonate the hyperlight gate.
Yes.
But wouldn't that put us out of range as well?
It doesn't work like that. We have to detonate it just before we come out through the other gate.
Okay, surely that would just destroy the hyperlight gate on the other side. Yes and no.
It should send a feedback wave back through to the other side.
It should.
No one's ever attempted it before.
So let me get this straight. We have to hope that it gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Could we not get someone stationed on the station that controls it?
What do you mean?
Every hyperlight gate has a hub, doesn't it? So why would that be any different? The Anunnaki are going to probably have a hyperlight gate hub space station by the gate, because they always do.
That is true.
Said Elvis. So could we not just get someone to just blow it up for us on the other side, just to be on the safe side? We could do.
But who wants to be stupid enough to do that?
Someone who we can bribe with enough money or assets or anything, yeah? We get them stationed on there, and that would be our plan B. So we set 2 bombs. We know of one and he knows of one. As soon as we go through, we give him the remote detonator that's counting down, and then we'd also do our remote detonator that's counting down. So that just doubles it up, because then we can guarantee at least one of them's going to go off, can't we? That's a good idea, said the old man. It's a very good idea. Okay, right. Well, we'll do it that way. Everyone agree? I'm in agreement, said Chi-Chi. So am I, said the man in black.
So am I,
said Elvis. Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, that's good then. What next?
Our stellar cartography is not accurate,
said Elvis. What do you mean our stellar cartography is not accurate? You've got the star charts there.
Yes, but those are assumptions. No one's actually been here to check. Don't forget, it takes years for light to come across. We don't know if some of these systems still exist.
What?
Well, you know how it can take tens of thousands of years for a bit of light to come across from a star, for argument's sake, the planet Earth.
Yeah.
That's how we get our stellar cartography when we haven't been there. And that's how every race does it. They monitor the light. And if it's taken hundreds of thousands of years for that light to come across, don't forget, it's a different galaxy. The only people that have been there are the Anunnaki, and they've only just got there.
Okay, so did the Three Stooges not send us any of this cartography data?
They sent us a better picture than what we had, but it's still not accurate.
Okay, but what about when we jumped? Did we not pick up any of the sensor data from the Dyson sphere? I would have thought that the Dyson sphere would have had a better range than any ship.
It does, but it's left massive pockets.
Okay, right, so you're saying that our map is not complete, it's totally incomplete. How much of it is accurate? Elvis looked at me.
35% is accurate.
35%? Fucking hell. We're not prepared for this. We weren't going to be, said the old man. This was supposed to be a one-way mission. We didn't know if we're going to make it or not. And it's a bonus that we all survived. Minus Josh, God rest his soul. God rest his soul, we all said at the same time. Now, let's lay in a course. Okay, let's do it. Chi-Chi plotted in the course for the hyperlight gate at the far end of the Andromeda galaxy, and we shot into hyperspace.
Thank you for listening. Please come back next week for the next episode. If you've enjoyed this podcast, why not check out our other podcast, A Tribute to Men That Hate Their Jobs, which is a brutal but witty portrayal of working a job you hate. In this podcast, there are themes explored in which happy workers simply wouldn't understand, unless they listen to these cautionary tales from a man that lost his ideal job because of the global pandemic. Be warned that this podcast contains strong and offensive language that some listeners may not want to hear. In addition, this podcast is not recommended for younger audiences. All our podcasts are available on YouTube. Just search for the Master X Media podcast channel. In addition, you can also find our podcasts on Amazon Music, Red Circle Podcasts, Stitcher and Spotify. We also have another YouTube channel called The X Review. This is a review and reaction channel. Not only is it on YouTube, but it is also on Brand YouTube, BitChute and Rumble. You can also find us on Facebook, Gab, Twitter and Parler. All the links are in the description below.